Hey guys, welcome to the class 10. In the last class, we have discussed about how do we apply for loan in the bank. And this class and the next coming class will be focused on the roles and responsibilities of the two critical profiles that are sales manager, relationship managers, and the credit manager profiles, right? In this class, we will discuss first about the sales manager or relationship manager profile. So let's start with the discussion. So, what is the role of sales manager or a relationship manager in the bank or a NBFC or any financial institution? So, I have divided this profile into two departments. First, we call is the retail department, and the second one is called the wholesale department. The retail department consists of various types of loans like LAP, that is loan against property, auto loan, housing loan, personal loan, business loans, commercial vehicles loan, etc. And the wholesale segment is particularly about the business banking department, wherein the client is funded on their business model and they are met with their working capital requirements by the banks usually. So the wholesale departments are usually done by the banks only, since the banks are mainly authorized to do the working capital financing here in India by the Reserve Bank of India. While the retail department like these are everywhere in the banks, NBFCs or any financial institutions are doing these types of loans. So there are no such restriction in them, right? So we will start with the retail department. So what is the role of a sales manager or a relationship manager in a retail segment? The first task of the sales manager is the sourcing. This is the prime task and the most important task of any sales manager, and this task is the only task due to which he can survive in his job. Sourcing is something that is related to bringing new clients to the organization. You go to the market, you source new business, you source new customers for the organization that are willing to take the loan, that are good for the bank or the financial institution, that are having good repayment capability, good market reputation. So the sourcing is the foremost thing that a sales manager or a relationship manager need to do. And by sourcing, I always mean good quality sourcing, right? So the sourcing is the first task. After you source the client, when you have sourced the client, then you have to collect the documents from them, that are the bare minimum documents which are required for the loan, that I have already explained in a separate class to you all. So you have to collect the docs and submit these docs to the credit team for login of the file. Login of the file means you have submitted for the file for further processing of the loan. So collection of docs and login of the file, that is the second step that you have to do as a sales manager. Then after you have logged in the file, the credit team, the sanctioning team will thoroughly check the file and they will raise certain queries or observations or concerns that they have on that file. So your duty as a sales manager is to help the credit team by engaging them with the customer, making them coordinate with the customer for resolving those queries. In some banks or organizations, the sales managers themselves have to revert all the queries by themselves. Okay. Then they resolve the queries of credit team and help them in sanctioning the case. Sanctioning the case means final go ahead with the case, finally issuing the sanction letter which can be accepted by the customer. So they assist the credit team in sanctioning the case. When this process is going on or this process has been done of sanction of the case, the sales manager is required to do the legal and valuation of the property. By legal means the property is free from any legal challenges here in as per the Indian laws, and it can be mortgaged without any hindrance, without any objections legally, right? So that is the legal clearance. And the valuation clearance is the identification of the property and assessing the market value of the property. Both these tasks are done by the external agencies, and the sales manager's duty is to make them coordinate with the customer, ensure that they are doing the task in a right time and they are ensuring the right quality. And the sales manager is also responsible for resolving all the queries that they have in their report, right? Once the legal and valuation is cleared, once the loan is sanctioned, then the final step is the disbursement of the loan. Disbursement For the disbursement of the loan, then there are certain disbursement documents that need to be signed by the customer, by the borrower, that contains of master facility agreement, mortgage deed, various other documents, guarantee deed. So all these disbursement documents has to be prepared by the sales manager, and he has to get it signed from the borrower and the guarantors accordingly. So disbursement documents execution is another task that they have to perform. After these disbursement documents are signed, then they have to be submitted to the operations department that we have discussed in the different departments analysis video. So these disbursement documents are then submitted to the operations department. The operations department duty is to assess the correctness of the document as per the internal rules of the bank. And finally, when everything is complete, then they disburse the loan to the customer or the borrower's account. Then this is the final step, which is called disbursement. After disbursement, the borrower starts repaying the loan. His duty is to repay the loan by way of EMI on time. So, as a sales manager, you have to regularly monitor your portfolio and ensure that they are paying their EMIs on time, right? And if there is any delay, in repaying the EMI, or they are having any issues in paying the EMI, then it is the duty of the sales manager to assist the collection team in collecting the EMI from the borrower and submit that to the respective financial institution, right? These are the basic roles and responsibilities related to the loan that every sales manager or a relationship manager, irrespective of the financial institution, has to perform, right? Then there is another parameter that they have to do is the 360 degree. By 360 degree, we mean that he has to bring the 360 degree relationship of the customer to the organization. Like, if a sales manager is working in the lab department, he is going to give lab to a borrower, and he sees that the borrower's mother or borrower's father or the borrower himself is having housing loan from XYZ bank also, then in today's scenarios, the banks and financial institutions asks this sales manager that since you are meeting the customer, you are representing the bank or the financial institution, it is your duty to ensure that the 360 degree relationship of the customer comes into the knowledge of the bank, comes into the knowledge of the respective department, so that they can take their respective action and bring that relationship to us as well. So it is the duty of that sales manager to inform the housing loan department that the so and so customer that I am doing is having housing loan from that XYZ bank. So you please go to the customer and try to bring that home loan to our bank also. Or if the customer, for example, is having any credit card or any business banking or working capital limits with any other bank, or he is having any current account or FDRs with some other banks or organization, or saving account with some other banks or organization, then, or for example, any life insurance with some other banks or organization, then the sales manager is required to bring the 360 degree relationship to the banks. This is the task that the modern day banks or financial institutions are giving to the sales managers. So this is the additional task that you have to perform. Then, needless to say, customer satisfaction with quality and fast services is of utmost importance. I don't need to add something here. You know that if the customer is satisfied, then only your bank or your organization can grow, because that customer is going to give a very positive feedback about you and your organization in the market, and that will bring more and more customers to you. So the customer satisfaction, by keeping the interest of the bank in your side, so that the interest of the bank or financial institution is not hit in trying to satisfy the customer, you have to ensure that you are providing good quality services in line with the bank's policy and as fast as possible. And by which I mean, by fast services I mean, when you are dealing with the various departments like the credit department, like the legal and valuation department, like the operations department, like the collection department, you have to ensure that they are also on the same page as you are. They are also made aware that the customer needs fast service, and they are also doing their task in the defined timeline as fast as possible, so that we give customer as fast service as possible, so that we remain one step ahead of the competition, right? So this is another, needless to say, basic task that you have to perform as a sales manager or relationship manager. Since you are a market guy, you are you are a field guy, you meet the customers, you bring the customers, so customer satisfaction, you face the customer, so this is the thing that you need to ensure to them. Then another point that is very understandable, that is relationship building. You are a sales manager, relationship manager, relationship building that you have to do with your communication skill, with your services quality. That is relationship building, both internal and external. By external relationships, I mean relationship with the customer, relationship with the various finance professionals that may bring more customers to you. By internal, I mean that you have a good relationship with the credit department, with legal department, with valuation department, with your operations department, so that you can get the things done relatively easily as compared to the others, right? So that relationship building is your core task also. So that is the roles of the sales manager who are working in the retail departments. Now we come to the more technical department, more hectic department, or you can say a more brainy department, in which you have to apply more of a brain, right? That is called the business banking department, working capital department basically. So all the roles that we have studied here, these all roles are performed by these relationship managers or sales managers as well. One thing I need to add one more. In some banks or NBFCs, legal and valuation tasks are not performed by these sales managers. They are done by the credit team itself. So you adjust according to what organization you are working upon. But I think, as per my individual view, if you are a sales manager or relationship manager, that task you have to perform. And if you are not doing that task in your organization, that credit team is doing, still you need to have the complete knowledge about this, right? So all the tasks that we have studied need to be performed by the relationship managers of business banking departments also. But in addition to those, they have 5 more responsibilities. What are they? In some organizations, mark my words, in some organizations, not all, they have to prepare the credit appraisal note also. That is a very difficult task. You have to assess the CIBIL, you have to prepare the CMA report, you have to prepare the financial comments, you have to write pros and cons, you have to prepare the facility table, you have to do the rating as well. So the whole complete 20-30 pages credit appraisal note that is presented to the sanctioning authority for sanction of the case is prepared by these relationship managers also. So if you are working in these departments, then you have to be very knowledgeable and very analytical as well, besides all these skills that we have discussed here, right? Financial analysis you have to understand if you are working in this department. If you don't understand the financials, you cannot survive in this department, mark my words, right? You need to have the understanding of all the products. You are funding the client for their working capital requirement. You need to have knowledge what is LC, what is packing credit limit, what is buyer's credit, what is cash credit, what is overdraft limit, what is machinery term loan, what is building term loan, so that you can pitch the right product to the customer. In these verticals, this problem is not there, since the product type is same. You are giving auto loan, you are giving a loan against property, which are all EMI based products. But here you need to provide product which are requirement as per the particular business model of the client, that are cost effective to the client, that adds more benefit to the client. So you need to have deep understanding of all the working of the products. You need to have a very deep knowledge of the industry that your borrower is operating in and the different business models in the same industry. You are funding for the daily operations, daily working capital of the bank. If you don't understand the business models, you don't understand the industry, you will not be successful in that profile. So you need to have the deep knowledge of the industry, deep knowledge of the business models, right? In these verticals, in retail segments, you don't need to provide any after sales services to the client. Once you have given the LAP loan or the auto loan, the customer will keep on paying the EMIs and the loan will go on. Loan will keep on reducing, right? But in working capital segments, you have to provide numerous after sales services. The client may need the temporary overdraft limit. The client may need ad hoc limit. Client may need to get his checks cleared. So he may need intraday limits. Client may be a need of updating their stock statements. They need to get their stock audit done. They need to every year they need to get their proposal renewed with your bank. So after sales services are very critical in this segment, and you have to deal with the customer on daily basis also, right? So this is the segment that covers after sales services, which was not there in this segment, right? Deep manual monitoring. Monitoring was there in this segment also. We have studied monitoring is also done in this department, but the monitoring is comparatively simple. Why? Because you have to just check whether the customer is paying EMI or not. Very simple task to do. But here, the monitoring task is very cumbersome because you have to assess the stock statements on monthly basis. Where the stock is moving, where the debtors are moving, where the creditors are moving, where the funds of your working capital limits are utilized, where the funds of your machinery term loans are utilized, whether the machinery is received in the factory or not, whether the stock audit is done or not, whether there are any concerns or issues in the stock audit, whether client has done fuel insurance of the stock or not. There are many more things, whether the client is doing churning with us or not, whether there are any regular bouncings appearing after disbursement of our loan, signaling any financial stress of the borrower. There are numerous things that you have to assess as a sales guy, as a relationship guy of the customer. So that monitoring level is very, very, very important and very, very deep in this segment that you have to understand. I hope I was able to clear you the roles and responsibility of the sales manager in both of these segments. In the next video, we will discuss about the crediting. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.